You're listening to From a Certain Point Askew, the only Star Wars podcast to predict that Ahsoka was indeed pregnant with Luke Skywalker's babies.
Woo.
Quadruplets. Coming soon to a galaxy near you. Three baby Force users and one miscarried Force ghost with an adorable nickname.
Oh, my God.
Matt, you got to quit writing this shit.
Yeah, right.
I'm Jason the Angry Ginger Jedi Guy, broadcasting live from inside Wookiee Poo Studios. I'm not alone. Speaking of Matt, the writer of the intro, Darth Matthews, what's up?
So is that why Ahsoka looked so satisfied when Mando showed up in that episode on Book of Boba where they go to find Luke? She's just like, I've been pleased.
Yep. She got the big Force O.
Oh wow, that's amazing. She deserves it.
I think so.
Good to be back to do our second episode this week, which is kind of fun. This is a promise that you made weeks ago.
Yeah, I put my foot in my mouth, and we're keeping to it. And how many of our listeners do you think are going to be surprised when we drop not one but two?
I think at least 4.
Okay, I can do that, and hopefully those 4 have sent in Maul Bags. If they haven't, they can next week.
We'll find out soon. If you would like to find our show from a certain point askew.com, we're on Twitter and threads at FACPApod, and you can email us. Please email us, FACPApod@gmail.com.
Take part in winning the gift that we will be announcing that you can win by doing those things.
That's right.
This episode is sponsored by the new and improved Tosche Station. Look forward. I'm telling you to look forward to the promo that will hopefully be on this episode. On the show today, news, Master and Apprentice Special Look coming in September. And then we'll do a little news on Season 2 of Kenobi. Ahsoka Episode 2 we're going to discuss. That's our meat and potatoes. Then we'll go into the Maul Bag Answering Machine. I really hope there are some. And then we'll end with a FACPAtoid.
That's right. So, news up first. So it was revealed this week that as part of the upcoming titles for September on Disney Plus, there's something called Master and Apprentice, a special look at Ahsoka, with the following description. On September 15th, audiences can watch how the series continues Star Wars legacy and Master and Apprentice, a special look at Ahsoka. So this is supposed to come out the same week as Episode 5. Yep. Again, the Filoni episode. Oh, they're good, as you said before.
And they've never done this before. There was like a couple of like making of things they've even like the extended trailers they've done where they show like the behind the scenes stuff, or they've done like the making of afterwards. But yeah, there's got to be a purpose for doing this before Episode 5, right?
Yeah, not mid-season. And I mean, I think it's supposed to drop the same day. Some people were speculating, well, is this supposed to try to provide some context for those who are wondering why Anakin's showing up and hanging out with Ahsoka? That could be it. I mean, you saw the one preview trailer thing they did where all those Anakin lines where he's talking and it's them like having this conversation about her training and all that stuff. So they're really setting it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? And they need to for the people who have no idea, who haven't watched Rebels or Clone Wars.
Right, exactly. Well, and then they also had another trailer just last week, I think, that was called Masters and Apprentices, which showed throughout history, like all the, Kenobi Qui-Gon, Kenobi Anakin, Anakin Ahsoka, like all those relationships. So they're really building that piece up.
Yes.
So we'll see what it is. I'm interested to see. I'm wondering how long it's going to be, but we will be covering it as part of our episode that week for sure.
I'm just excited to finally see some lightsaber action.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like we talked about with you gotta. Did we get any lightsaber action in season 3 of Mando? We did not, right?
Well,
just Darksaber.
Well, we got the Jar Jar Binks fella when he saved Grogu.
Oh, yes,
some Order
we did.
66
right.
stuff we got.
So we did get some. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
All right. Well, speaking of Kenobi, recent interviews with Variety and The Hollywood Reporter, which, of course, is the official toilet reading of FACPApod. Do you have an ad for that?
I will.
It's coming
I'll
soon.
work on it.
Deborah Chow was saying some interesting things. By the way, first off, so the director's strike is not happening anymore, right? It's just the writers and the actors?
The director's
there
was
thing
never a
got
strike.
solved.
The directors
never struck.
They went to the table and signed right away.
So Deborah Chow can do these interviews and such because
Must be, yes.
she is not an actor nor a writer?
Correct.
Okay. So, I mean, we've talked about some of this stuff before, but she was asked if the story of Obi-Wan is complete, and she said, you got 10 years, so there's definitely more stories to be told. For this one, we really did conceive it as a limited series, but you never say never. That's she borrowed that straight from Kathleen Kennedy. She always says, never say never.
Yeah.
For me, just getting to spend more time with the character and Ewan as that character would be the greatest joy of it. And then she also said, As Ewan and I finished our very last shot on the second unit, and I was literally taking off my headphones, he was already pitching me ideas for season 2.
Yeah.
Ewan he's all in.
I mean, you could tell like he was excited to come back for this. He's wanted to do it for years, so why wouldn't he?
Well, and even Vivian Blair, the gal who played Leia, was like,
Right.
she said that he was begging to do another season. So he's all fucking ready to go. And if all the players are there and they all want to do it, and I mean, it was for the most part pretty well received, yeah, they're going to do another season. Then it just gets into what do you do in season 2? You know, we talked about this when we wrapped up season 1 is you can't really bring Vader back again. Like you've kind of blown that wad. It wouldn't make sense for them to meet again.
Right.
So is it just him doing other things? I mean, the Qui-Gon thing at the end was kind of a setup. You know, you could do some stuff with that, but I'd be interested to see what they would even do with the season 2.
Well, I mean, there's plenty to do over on the old Tatooine, I'm sure. It would be strange for them to do a whole nother fucking show on Tatooine, but if that's what I had to do to get another Kenobi, you know, maybe 5 years later, you know, Luke's a little older. So maybe we get older Luke instead of Leia in the next one. But I want another one. My thing is, really it's going to come down to whatever the numbers are, the streaming numbers on Disney, right? Because that's really like, you know, the suits are going to be like, oh, this show was watched. Let's get more subscriptions. Let's make another one.
And they don't tell us those numbers.
Right. And let's make it in a bigger volume. You know what, though? Speaking of the strike and numbers, that's one of the big things is they don't share the numbers with the producers, the director, nobody. Like those are so concealed, and they're thinking, well, there's two things. Either they hide the numbers and lie, right, and pretend it's much bigger than it is. So it could really hurt. Like if they release it, it could hurt the stocks. You know, like the show isn't worth shit. Or the other thing is just
they don't want to pay people.
Right, exactly. So
we're still here.
I think it's going to come out, though.
I mean, how much longer is this shit going to go on? Because it feels like every month that goes by that this is happening, it pushes every project out like 3 to 6 months.
Oh, I know I think they've met twice recently. They met last Friday, and maybe it was the Friday before they agreed they would sit down. But then I think it was the Hollywood Reporter. I was reading something, or Deadline, I can't remember, and they had confirmed that they were meeting in discussions, but they aren't any closer to actually settling anything.
Well, my understanding is the CEOs are not involved in these discussions. It's their people or whatever. So get involved, people.
I mean, they've got their walking notes, right? They're like, you go in there and this is what we're willing to settle with.
Right.
And they're not willing to budge, but they're also like, I know they were thinking that if it was settled within the next couple of weeks, they could get to production, at least mid-season shows and stuff they could start producing enough to put content out for mid-season.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean...
Which is February, March is when that kicks in usually.
It's going to be real interesting to see what happens when they go to all these networks and stuff go to put stuff out, and they're like, hey, advertisers, you guys still interested in buying some ad time on these shows that we can't make right now? On these reruns from last season?
I mean, if it's just about advertising, we've got sponsors, so we can we can share our sponsors with the streaming channels. I mean, they're going to pay. We also work as a marketing agency, so you know we're like Ryan Reynolds' Maximum Effort.
We're like the Roy Star or whatever it is. We're like a Succession.
Oh yes,
we do everything.
Except for the cruises. Was that the one they're always talking shit about?
Yeah, the cruises is what fucks them. Yeah, we haven't actually finished the whole series yet, but yeah, it's the cruises. It tends to sink them, so to speak. That's it for news.
Attention speeders and vehicle owners of Tatooine! Do you need a powerful recharge that's out of this galaxy? Look no further than Tosche Station, now under new management and ready to supercharge your ride. At the all-new Tosche Station, we're building a brand new recharging facility like nothing you've ever seen. Picture this: 20 shiny, state-of-the-art charging stations built to handle speeders and vehicles of all shapes and sizes. From the swiftest swoop bikes to the mightiest land speeders, we've got the power you need. But wait! There's more! Are you tired of running low on power when you need it the most? With our lightning fast recharging capabilities, you'll be back on the open sandy road in no time, leaving your worries in the rearview mirror. Say goodbye to those endless power struggles and embrace the new era of speed and efficiency. Now let me ask you something, my fellow speed demons and vehicle enthusiasts. Do you want power that delivers? Do you want a charging experience that's smooth, reliable, and lightning quick? Well, look no further than Tosche Station. We've got the energy you crave, the service you deserve, and the expertise to keep you cruising on all cylinders. But here's the real kicker, folks. Exclusively for listeners of the From a Certain Point Askew podcast, we have a special offer. Use promo code POWERUP and get not one, not two, but 3 power converters for the price of one. That's right, a deal that's as good as making the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs. So don't wait, hurry on down to the Tosche Station and experience power like never before. Fuel your speeder, energize your vehicle, and let us take you to a new dimension of power and performance. Tosche Station, where the future of power recharge begins.
So we can go into Ahsoka season or episode 2 now and get into that stuff.
Let's talk the episode.
Okay, Ahsoka episode 2, Toil and Trouble. That's a fun title. Makes sense to put these 2 episodes together because it really sets up the season. Like if you would have left after, I mean, granted, everybody knew Sabine was not going to die, but still, that's quite the cliffhanger to have and then leave everybody for a week.
That's an old school, like, oh, get him back next week.
Yeah, right. But yeah, this just kind of sets the whole tone because where they go is basically, the end of the epilogue that we saw in Rebels. So now we don't know where anything's going.
And this is a line from, was it Macbeth?
Which, the Toil and Trouble?
Yeah.
That might be. God, good job with your education over there.
Yeah. Toil and trouble. And, there's 3 witches, right? Isn't it? I think there's 3 witches, and there's 3 parts on the map.
Mm-hmm. This is all tied together.
Yeah.
We're getting Shakespearean?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Yep. You called
Brother
it.
and sister are going to be fucking tonight.
See, I'm so bad with Shakespeare. Like, we watch Jeopardy sometimes, and whenever that shit comes on, I'm like, ah! I just throw out, like, keywords and titles of things and character names I've heard one time.
Dude, when the episode title came up on the TV, I thought my girlfriend was going to throw her underwear at the TV. She got so damn excited. It's her favorite fucking Shakespeare. Yeah. Goddamn literary nerd. She's all like, oh! She gets all excited.
Once more to the breach. What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, man. All right. So Sabine wakes up. Imagine that. In a hospital room, being treated by one of those same med droids we've seen before.
That gave Luke Skywalker a new hand.
It did. Yep. Have you ever heard that whole like backstory about that filming that scene with the tank and how he got out of the tub for a minute and like something broke above and fucking fell in the tank, and if he would have been in the tank, he probably would have died?
No.
Yeah, crazy story. Like he
Holy
was
shit.
He would have been in bad shape had he been in there like a couple minutes longer. He was like taking a break. And a glass thing with maybe like the camera on top of it or whatever it was broke and all fell into the water.
Fuck.
Yeah. Oof. He's like, dude, I just had the accident. That's why I got this like, scar.
Well, that was after Empire, right? It
was before Empire that he got the scar.
Oh, I thought it was between Empire and Return of the Jedi when he had this surgery and everything. Okay.
Yeah. So then we reveal that Shin and the droids, or she reveals to Ahsoka, Shin and the droids took the unlocked map, and Ahsoka's just giving her the disappointed. I fucking told you not to take it, you goddamn it.
I'm glad you're not dead.
This is why we broke up.
You fuck up every time.
But she tells her, it shows that there was this connection between the 2 galaxies. She's like, oh, so where did it start then? She's like, I don't know. Yeah. It's like, well, do you have like notes? No. they destroyed
they destroyed those 2.
It's like, well, fuck, man. What do we have to go on here?
What good are you here? And Hera, the ultimate optimist in this episode.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's mom.
Well, the reason why we're here is because of her,
Right. She tries to bring them together.
Ahsoka's finally like, what are you getting at? Like, what is your...
She has to play, referee because her kids are fighting.
Yep.
I mean, Ahsoka's not so much of her kid as Sabine is, but Sabine is definitely one of her kids.
That's true.
So then she does mention that she, killed one of the droids. And so Ahsoka's like, oh, I could do something with that. So she heads off to do some sleuthing. Meanwhile, on this planet called Cetos, which is in the Denab system. Remember that name?
Oh, yeah. No.
I think it's Return of the Jedi right before. It's when Han's like, they made you a general to Lando. And he's like, somebody must have told him about my little maneuver on Denab.
Oh, okay.
Or in the Battle of Denab.
Okay.
So there you go. There's a Denab reference. Baylan and Shin have discovered Stonehenge.
Exactly.
And they sent word to Elspeth to join them. And then in a blink and you'll miss it moment, as you mentioned, there's like this wailing sound, and all of a sudden you look up and you see the shadow. It's a very, very quick shot.
Okay.
And it's just like kind of behind the clouds, you see it. And then he kind of looks away, and that was it. I didn't even, like I said, I didn't even notice it the first time.
Which is strange. Like, are the Purgle like, we're watching you?
They're kind of creepers, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're just kind of always hovering around. We're here. Don't worry, we're here. So Ahsoka goes looking at the Sabine's pad and uses some Force echoes. This is straight out of Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we've really seen that as much in other properties, but like he does that all the time. There's like little spots you go to, and he kind of does this little Force echo, and you hear a memory of what just happened there.
Well, it opens up with her hearing her dream.
Right. So she's got that ability.
Yeah. Yep.
She can read your dreams. She's like Freddy Krueger.
I want to see that.
So she goes up to the apartment, and that cute little Loth cat is like, "Oh, there's something in there."
See, I didn't pick up on that until the second time I was watching it. I was like, "Oh, that was kind of a smart move. Like the cat wouldn't go inside."
Right.
And then she was like, "Huh," and she goes in anyway.
Yeah, because when I saw that thing falling down behind, at first, my first opinion was, or thought was, did somebody lower a boom mic by accident? Is this the Jeans guy incident?
Jeans
all over
guy's
again?
back.
So she finds the hollow of Ezra, and then the droid jumps her. She cuts the head off of the droid. She takes it back to Sabine, and we kind of use this. We did this in Clone Wars once. We like got one of the droid's heads, and they were able to use it to like repurpose it and get an advantage. I think the clones did it. So this is kind of a similar vibe.
Yep.
So she's like, well,
this one detonates if you don't get what you want from it at a certain time, or you put too much voltage in it or something.
Yeah, no shit. It's a little bit dangerous, and it's really making Huyang nervous. Yeah, I like
for a robot with no emotion, he's the one that's the panic button here.
He's had some great lines, and I love the fact that Hera's like, we should do it now. It's fine. He's like, you're on a hologram.
Yeah.
You're not in danger.
Yeah. He totally calls her out.
I love that. So she's Sabine, being the wire girl, kind of like opens shit up, starts. It almost looks like she's playing like an old 1982 shitty game.
It looks like almost like robotic operation.
Kind of. So she's able to determine that the droid came from Corellia.
Yep.
Where Elsbeth has had some factories as well. So they decide, okay, Hera, Ahsoka, we're going to go to Corellia, check this shit out. And then you get this nice moment with Hera and Sabine where she's like, trying to talk sense into her about helping Ahsoka. And she's like, she doesn't want my help. She's like, she does.
Yeah.
As I mentioned before, you kind of forget until you get into this. And some people who wouldn't have seen Rebels would say this too, is that Hera really was her mom figure throughout the whole thing. Ezra and Zeb probably to a degree too. She was the mom. Back on Cetos, Elspeth arrives and uses her little Night Sister magic. We get the fucking green shit coming up.
Yeah.
Straight out of that. I was hoping she'd talk like Mother Talzin. Like, I want to suck your blood. Remember that?
Yes.
So we get this. She gets the map to display on the big screen. That's cool. That'd be cool for watching like football games and shit.
And it's got like distance dials, and it turns into this whole digital atlas. Like they're inside of a compass.
Right. Yeah, kind of like that. And so she says a lot of interesting things here. First, she claims that this Stonehenge was built by an ancient people from a distant galaxy. Mm-hmm. Ooh. So it wasn't the droids. It was aliens, just like the pyramids.
So she's saying the people that this thing points to came into their galaxy and built that thing.
And said, here's the way to get to us. Because that's what you usually do. You go explore
or maybe
a world.
It was like their breadcrumb home. They're like, we got to remember what way we were going.
Yeah, do you guys remember?
Yeah, where do we park? It's like going to Disney World. 37 Goofy.
All these stars look the same, man.
Yeah.
I've seen the same star 60 times. Number two, she reveals that the location where they are will travel, to, and where they will travel to. And Baylan says, is that the pathway to Peridia? Which I had never heard this before.
This is an old pull.
Is it?
Yeah, this is. I think this is a story. I don't know if
he says it is.
I recognize the story. He says, not the name of Peridia.
Okay, because he says it's like almost like a fairy tale to the Jedi children. I don't remember Peridia.
Something to do with back in the day before like the hyperspace lanes were ran by like computers, like force sensitive people were the ones that could fly through them. It had something to do with that. So it has something to do with like way back in the day, they were the ones that could travel through these like lanes.
So this is a High Republic reference.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that would make sense. And I because you probably should, I guess, if you're a storyteller, throw a couple bones to the High Republic people since they're only getting books right now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So maybe that's it. That is what it is. I didn't think about that. And then she also says Thrawn is speaking to her through time and space.
Yeah, I think she she really needs to get on Bumble and like she's fucking got a hard on for this blue dude. She's not sure is still alive. Like she was like the right age of the Smurfs and she just found the one Smurf hot and she's never let it go.
Yeah, because Baylan looks at her like, "Are you fucking high? What are you talking about?" So then she informs them that the Eye of Sion is en route and that they need to be ready when it arrives. And we'll get to that in a minute. And then that's when Baylan tells Shin, "Hey, go assist." He calls him Marok, not Merrick.
Yes.
Whatever.
And doesn't Sion mean like air or something like that?
So I did not look this up. This is where you come in. You're the research department.
I gotcha. Imaginary place or perfect or ideal. Zion, utopia, fictitious place. Imaginary place, mythical place.
Oh, well, no, it's Sion, not Zion. It's like S-I-O-N. Oh, you think it's just a variation of Zion?
No, because that's Zion. Is that? But I thought Sion also meant like.
Isn't that S-C-I-O-N, like the car? Sion.
I'll keep looking.
All right. So he says, go help Marok with the final transport on Corellia. That's what Baylan tells Shin. So Corellia, we get to. Looks fucking great. Once again, we saw cool shots of Corellia in Solo, fuck off Chris Villaseñor, where like they showed more night shots there. They did have some day shots too.
Yeah.
But it looked fucking sweet, and I think they kind of kept it consistent with that. It's just these huge shipyards, you know?
It looks like it's reached like maybe like Apple is running the industrial age now.
Yeah, well,
it's
it's a little later.
More put together, you know?
Yeah, it's a little later. They're a little bit more ramped up, I guess. New technology and all that kind of thing. So Ahsoka arrives to meet up with Hera, who came in the Phantom. She has to kind of strong arm this like local supervisor into showing them Elsbeth's facilities.
Who is that actor?
His name is.
He's always kind of like this hyped up like.
It's like something Jacobson or something.
I can't remember what I've seen him in.
He's been in 100 things that you've seen, but you just always forget. He was on that show House for a while.
That's okay. Yes, when they brought in the new characters and What's Her Hot Nuts was part of the cast.
What's Her Hot Nuts?
Oh God, she's gorgeous. What is her name? She's the director. She directed. What is it? Did she do 8th Grade? And then she directed Don't Worry, Darling, or.
You're talking about Olivia Wilde?
Olivia Wilde, yes.
Okay.
When
I guess
Olivia
I
Wilde
forgot
was in
that she
House.
came on there too.
Yep.
Anyway.
Oh, she came on there.
You came. So he's giving them this tour and he's explaining how like, hey, yeah, of course there's ex-imperials here. We need the manpower, we need the resources, and they're not motivated by politics, they're motivated by money. Well, that's not necessarily true, as we will find. Hera asks Ahsoka to bring Sabine back on as an apprentice. Again, trying to mend fences.
Yep.
Hera trying to bring everybody together. She's got nostalgia for the old days, because she still misses Kanan. She wants the rest of the family to be together. She feels a little lonely.
Do you think some of it for Ahsoka is she just doesn't feel like she's worthy of being a master because she walked away? Like there seemed like Catholic guilt, right? She's got her own Jedi guilt with things. And then because they're both hard asses, and it's probably difficult for Sabine to admit she needs someone.
All those are true. I think Ahsoka has seen a lot of master Padawan relationships go pear-shaped. And maybe that's where she just is like, you know what? I'm going to go lone wolf, and then I don't have to worry about anybody else.
There's the wolf.
It's like being at work. She's like, I don't want any direct reports.
Yeah.
I just want to be an individual
do my
contributor.
own thing. I'm going to punch the time card, do my 8 hours, and I'm leaving. No, I will not go out to work or out for a beer with you after work.
No, I'm keeping it.
You're dead to me from the hours of 11 to 8 a.m.
Right, 9 to 5, that's it, and I'm out. Meanwhile, Sabine has this funny chat with Huyang. This is what we talked about before, about her relationship with Ahsoka, giving up on her training, and she kind of does this woe is me line about not having the abilities of Ezra, and he's like, absolutely, you do not.
Yes.
And then he says, quote, I've known hundreds of Padawans, and I'd say your aptitude for the Force falls short of all of them.
All of them. in the first episode, he says, over, what's he been, like a a robot for building lightsabers for over 500 years.
Oh, it's like 20,000
multiple centuries or something,
stupid.
right?
Yeah.
And she is worse than all of them.
All of
I mean,
them.
that's the worst comment you could ever hear from anybody.
But then he turns it around by handing her the saber and saying like, but you need to get like, essentially like you need to stop wasting your time and get back into training.
She said she doesn't want to waste her
Ahsoka's time.
And
he said,
you're wasting yours.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it was a funny line. So as Hera and Ahsoka continue their little tour, they notice some huge hyperdrive cores that are way too big for any new Republic vessels.
Now, let me ask you this. Why are they tearing apart all of these ships and then rebuilding new ones to use these parts instead of just using the ships that already exist? Granted, they represent.
They got
the
bad
old
juju.
Imperial.
You don't want to go if you fly into some place.
A lot of money being spent.
If you have fly into some place that has previous experiences with the Empire in a Star Destroyer, they're going to be like, "Holy fuck, we're under attack."
Okay,
you gotta change that shit up.
But I mean, the episode opens up with these fucking rebels like flying this rickety prototype fucking ship with a bridge with a pipe coming out of the floor. Like,
yeah,
I think I'd take the ship that puts a little fear into the hearts.
Say what you want. The Empire built some good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they notice the hyperdrive cores are too big, and they kind of start prodding him for more information. He says it's classified, and they just keep pressing him. Then they're
I'm
like,
in general, unclassify it.
I know, I love that. So then she goes, well, what about the droids? What kind of droids do you have? They just start kind of keep probing. They're like, do you have any HK droids? He's like, assassin droids, come on now. Yeah. And that's when all of a sudden, because they start figuring out what's going on, and then that droid walks up and says, I saw an HK droid. It was on that transport. All of a sudden, the human Empire, ex-Empire people go, what did he say? Did he say save the Empire? Long live the Empire? Or for the Empire, he said.
For the Empire.
And they all start attacking.
Yeah.
Fucking can't
Fucking
trust him.
Ahsoka just chops his arm off.
Oh, just so quickly. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, maybe he could save it. Maybe he's get that back in there. So they kind of split up. Hera heads down to get the Phantom, and Ahsoka, chases after the
Takes
transport.
the gravity elevator.
Yeah, exactly.
Just fucking slices the glass.
I'm
and
just gonna
jumps
go.
out.
I'm gonna take the quick route. You go. I'm not gonna put you on my back or anything. You just have to go down.
Yeah.
And so then Ahsoka encounters Marok and an HK droid who prevent her from pursuing the ship, and she's able to kill the droid and fend off Marok, but he does get away with this kind of last minute, jump thanks to Shin flying in. And then he does that. He had done the fling with the lightsaber. For a second, did you think he was gonna do the helicopter?
Yes.
I thought he was gonna helicopter out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened was better though, like the fucking lasers coming down and creating all the smoke, and like he jumps on the ramp and she runs through it, and then she's standing there and he's on the ramp looking, and he calls for his fucking sword to come back, right? And she just like kind of like doesn't look or anything, just moves a little bit so it can pass her.
6 inches.
Instead of like going past like through her or anything, she's just like, I ain't taking my eye off you, bitch.
Yeah, right. It's a boss move.
Yes, it was.
Meanwhile, Hera and Chopper, who just, by the way, Chopper looks amazing in live action. He looks fantastic. Yeah. They pursue this ship, and they're able to get a tracking device on it. And this whole sequence is straight out of a Rebels episode.
Did you go through my things?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, no.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Jay, because it's time for a new segment. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes.
Are you ready? Hold on.
Yeah. Oh, we got a bumper? Okay.
Che Cosa? Sorry.
Okay.
So in that discussion I had with Fred and when Mike Laybourne chimed in, they were like, oh, we need to do this segment. And I said, Mike said something about do it in an accent. And I said, so Italian accent? So are you ready? You need to scroll you need to scroll to the bottom of the document. This is going to be so stupid.
Oh, okay.
You need to scroll to the bottom of the document.
Did you get a little inspiration from these advertisements I've been writing? And you're like, I got to fucking step up my game.
I got to
here.
do something. So you're going to read the Hera part. I'll read the little parentheticals.
Oh, I got a little script. Okay, I'm excited.
So here's how it's going to go.
Right.
This is literally what the conversation is. I'm going to do it as if I'm saying what Chop is saying, but in a really terrible Italian accent. Ready?
Okay. Yes.
So this is the scene where the ship is shooting at the Phantom.
Yep.
And here's Chop. Ready?
Yeah.
I can't do this. Hey, what the fuck, huh?
Keep your lid on, Chop. I can't just shoot it down. It would crash into the port city.
Do I give a fuck?
Just ready the tracking device and don't miss this time.
Hey, that's not nice.
Chopper sifting through stuff looking for a tracking device.
Nope. Nope, that's not it. Shit. Woman, did you touch my stuff?
No, I didn't go through your stuff.
Oh, yes, you did.
Did you look under the backup battery?
Okay. Oh, there it is.
Get ready. Now, Chop.
Boom, arrivederci.
Good work, Chop. You got him.
There you go.
Where's the conversation where she says something about the hyperdrive and he basically says, just fucking drop it on the people. She has some line about, I can't, it'll destroy everybody. He's like, well, I don't give a fuck.
That's what I said. I said, do I give a fuck?
Okay, yeah.
Sorry. Oh, there's your new segment, the Chopper speaking in an Italian accent.
I love it.
I really worked hard on that drop.
Now, is he going to be Italian every week, or are you going to try a new accent?
I'm making a new drop. He's Italian every week.
Okay. I mean, that took a lot out of you, huh? I'm making a new drop.
Oh, fuck.
I did a whole commercial.
So back to the action. Sabine returns to her apartment, gets her old gear out, lines it all up nice and neat, including her old helmet, and then she goes full Kanan with the haircut.
Yeah.
We knew that was coming, I think, right?
Yeah,
I don't think they ever
the
showed
trailer.
the cut scene, but we knew something was coming with that haircut.
There was
there one?
I think it was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. They did. We kind of reenact the scene from Rebels, the finale epilogue where she touches the mural, excuse me. Right? Like same exact thing. The room looks the same. Everything looks identical. Yep. She turns around, she sees Ahsoka. The only difference there is Ahsoka's not in the white robe with the staff. She's just, kind of sitting there in a gray outfit. So they decide to make the jump to Cetos, and that is when she says, Padawan. She calls her Padawan again.
Yeah. Do you want to make the jump or something?
Right.
And then just Padawan. So now they're going to get along.
Oh, well, let's hope. We know that we're still going to have some issues because it's a long, deep-seated deal. But above Cetos, we see the Eye of Sion, which is this massive version of essentially like in Attack of the Clones when they would have the Jedi Starfighter that would attach to that ring. That's basically what this is, but just way bigger and with a ton of engines attached to it because they got to go deep. They got to go to deep space.
Well, they're putting her, I don't think it's a starship, but whatever the fuck she's flying. Yeah. Is going to attach this giant ass ring once they get destination. We out of here.
Elsbeth tells Baylan and Shin that it's nearly ready. They'll use it to bring Thrawn back, but she senses that Baylan is concerned about Ahsoka, and he is because he knows she's coming. He says.
Before that, let's talk about how the hologram is using her green mystical powers.
Yeah,
some way
I didn't
or
think
another.
about that. It is green,
and it's clearer than a hologram, right? But it's got
a
like
plasma
this
TV.
Fluid motion like that. It's fucking. And when she ends the hologram call, you can still see like the particles or whatever sort of dissipate.
Yes, true. Almost Matrix-like.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, so he says it would be a shame to kill her. Talking about Ahsoka, there are so few Jedi left. Yes. So this is just leaving the door open for him to have some sort of feeling toward the Jedi that is going to stop him from being able to do something awful down the road. And that's when I think he's going to get killed by Shin. She's going to be like, listen, old man, you taught me how to be a badass, and now you're going to stop right here and like go back with the good guys? No.
And then she'll want the power. So she'll basically think she's the Darth Vader to Thrawn's Emperor.
For what's next, like you said, there's not a ton that wasn't in the trailers or that was in the trailers that we didn't already see. You mentioned there's, not to mention it's the same director next episode as episode 2.
Right.
So you would think some of this storyline would feel a little bit similar. Steph Green. There are a couple things, like you mentioned. There's Shin and Sabine battle again. And there's also a part where Sabine's got the Mando helmet on and does like maybe that's the beginning of that fight. She does the little like Mando, Spider-Man thing. That was in one of the scenes.
Oh, and the 2-on-2 saber fight in the forest behind Stonehenge.
Right. That happens. And then, like you said, the Baylan Ahsoka fight in Stonehenge. That happens as well. So all those things have yet to happen. We talked about how Shin still hasn't done the scene where she's flying a plane or, flying a fighter, whatever, flying a ship and attacking. But that's kind of it. I mean, then you're Galmon. You're Galmon.
Oh, I know.
She hasn't shown up yet.
Get to that. Here's the weird thing. So there's been rumbling of Thrawn's return, right? So how are people aware that Thrawn is still alive and coming back or is back, but he's still hiding in this other galaxy?
You mean like who? Who are you talking about? Who's aware?
when they had the conversation with Moff Gideon in season 3 of
That's
the
a good
Mandalorian.
question. Yes, because
right?
I think it's Palian, who's Thrawn's right-hand man in the books.
Right.
He says he's in contact with him.
So has Thrawn been back, and is he building an army in the other galaxy? Because the Chiz, they're in the outer...
They're in the unknown regions or whatever.
Right.
Isn't that what it's called?
Not in a different galaxy. Well, unless they change it.
They could.
With this. So, yeah, I'm curious as to like... And just because they find Thrawn doesn't mean they're going to find Ezra.
True. And I saw somebody make the argument, or maybe I was listening to a podcast that said this, so I apologize because I'm forgetting, but said maybe Palian was just talking shit. Actually wasn't in contact with Thrawn, was just using it to kind of like, stick his chest out a little bit.
Right.
That could be possible as well.
Some power over Moff Gideon.
We do need some information on Thrawn here because this is a long time coming. You know, this has been coming since season 2 of Mandalorian. I mean, of course, it's been coming for longer with books and everything, but as far as live action.
Well, how many years has he been missing? He's been missing for 20 years?
Well, it's not even that long.
Because, Rebels was before episode 4.
But it was right before it.
Yep.
It was like 0 BBY, or 2 months BBY. Like it was right before that battle happens.
And this show is 13.
I think it's like 11.
ABY?
Oh, so I guess you're like 11, 12, 13. Yeah, I guess sort of like that. So about that much. Ezra's going to look different. He's like fat and bald and shit.
He really let himself go.
Yeah, right. Dude, you need to get in the gym.
Yeah. Yeah, I really think they're going to play the long game with Ezra, but they're going to build up the bat a little bit with, they'll bring Thrawn in. We'll get some more teases on, what the hell is actually going on.
Yeah.
I'll be surprised if we see Ezra before the 5th episode.
I don't think we're going to see him at all. I really don't. If we do, I think it's the very end of the season.
Right.
I think he's just going to be out there the whole time as this lingering driver.
Mm-hmm.
So we shall see. Everybody let us know what you think. As a reminder, the Ahsoka giveaway, question of the week, Maul Bag, Answer Machine, reviews, tell a friend, all those things get you entries and you can win. We do get a lot of entries, so stack that box, stuff that box, I should say.
Yeah.
Take it however you want. And you can earn entries to win Black Series figures, a mug, or a book. So get after it. Speaking of the Maul Bag.
Oh, I see. We've got something here.
We have an email from Max Rebo Experience. He's got a lot of entries early. I like it.
Yeah.
From the desk of the Max Rebo Experience. First of all, I loved it, talking about the show, and cannot wait for more. My wife also loved it and really appreciated the plethora of female leads. I was thinking about that at one point. I was like, shit, all 3 are female leads, which is something you just not used to seeing in Star Wars. It's a nice change.
Well, I mean, right now, if you look at what they're building up to, I mean, Luke's still alive, but he's going to go into hiding soon. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have Sabine, Ahsoka, and Rey. There are no male Jedis. Right? Well, there'll be Kylo, but he'll turn bad. He'll turn bad and then he'll die.
Yeah. Cal Kestis is around. Oh, no, he's earlier.
Is he?
Yeah, Cal Kestis is but I think he's catching up to the timeline now, I think. I lose track of that. Where's Cole? Cole, timelines.
The first game took place around the same, just before Kenobi.
Oh, right, because it's all these old memories of,
Emporium, right. The Inquisitor Emporium, or what do we call it?
What was that called? The Emporium Historium or something.
Yes.
Inquisitorium Forium. I don't know, shit, something like that. Anyway, look back about 20 episodes or 30 episodes. So he says, if I have to pick nits, A, why didn't Ahsoka call in Luke to help? As Rey said, he's not busy. I'm not sure of the timeline, but this is before he trains Ben, but maybe he's out looking for Lando's daughter.
Nice shout out to the book.
There's a couple things there. One is, from a storytelling perspective, you can't bring Luke Skywalker in again. You just can't.
Right.
You know what I mean? This needs to be Ahsoka's story and the Ghost Cruise story.
Right.
You bring him in, it changes everything, throws everything out of whack. The only way he shows up is if it's in that big crossover movie that happens with Filoni.
Yes. Or especially like in our first episode, like you're going to have half the world be like, why is she going to a man for help?
Well, I think also you'd have people just going, fucking seriously, Luke Skywalker has to show, like, why?
Oh,
why does he
I would never complain. I would take Luke Skywalker all the time.
But don't you think that you want to see other people solve their problems without Luke Skywalker?
Yeah. And I mean, they're definitely like, we talked about this before. I think it was when Scuttlebutt was on. Like, it seems like they're trying to write like their own story that's taking place in tandem with the Skywalker events. Right. You know, so.
And which is why I don't think we need to see Mando either. We don't need them to show up.
Right.
You know, that can be the crossover.
I would not
later.
be surprised if we see someone from that world just to link the, like if we see Pelimoto or just someone
from that world. Yes. I'm just saying the Mandalorian or whatever, Din does not need to walk on the screen in this series. I just don't think it's necessary.
And I would be super happy if we didn't see Tatooine at all.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they could stay away from it. You know.
But they built a hell of a set piece, so I see them using that a lot.
I just hope we don't see Toro. Oh wait, he's dead. Never mind. B, another 1,000-year-old. This is the joke that I mentioned earlier. Another 1,000-year-old map that leads to an event that happened less than 10 years ago. It does look like an awful ancient tomb that's pointing to something that there's something deeper than that though. It's not just pointing to where Thrawn is, or there's a reason Thrawn was to that place. Maybe it has more to do with those Night Sisters. And that's
just where the Purgles go. It's their mate. It's like where the salmon go to spawn.
There you go. Yeah. C, according to the Crawl,
the Purgle fuck pit.
Wow. That's what they should call it. According to the Crawl, Thrawn is gone, but in Mando 3, Captain Palion seemed to be in contact with him. This was the other thing I was referencing. I'm stealing all of his ideas in our conversation. I wonder if he simply was pretending he was in contact with Thrawn, almost like how Bib took over Jabba's syndicate. Yeah. So that's where I got that idea. Sorry, Max Rebo. I was stealing your idea of making that argument. Yes, it easily could be that. Because how else would he have contact? However, I still don't understand how Moff Gideon could get a fucking cell service on that goddamn Mandalore planet when the whole thing was, a mess and nobody could get, communications outside the environment or the atmosphere.
He was using he was using the Mandalorian planet as a fiber optic cable.
Oh, there you go.
Because it's all glass, so he's just like, this shit works. I just need a port.
Overall, minor quipples, he says. Episode 1, 8.75 out of 10. Episode 2, 8.5 out of 10. Okay. I'm never good at rating shows. Like I always, because then you compare the ratings and it doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean?
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I like if I had it would be, I don't mind that they're living in these scenes, but I think if they tightened it up a bit, it would move a bit faster and you could get to, I don't know, like it just seemed there was something off about it, even though it had so much going for it. I have no problem with it.
The second one or both?
Just the two combined. Yeah. And maybe it's just because I'm so used to seeing it animated and it's live action, and I'm trying to. It's like the uncanny valley for me, right?
Sure.
So I'm trying to pinpoint what it is, but
that looks just like Hera.
I don't have many complaints. Like right. And the ones that I do are just like are too small to mention, but so far I would easily give it at least an 8.5 or 9. Like I think this is really well done, and it's with the setup, there's so much there. Like I'm really excited to see where this is going to go.
Those Rotten Tomato scores are going through the roof.
Yeah,
I think the reviewers is like 98, and the audience was like 90 something or 89, so pretty high. Well received. All right, let's go to the answering machine again. This is just silly.
Ooh.
This is Mike. Mike sent me this earlier and said, I know how much you like voicemails. And so I had to he sent it over Twitter. So I had to try to pull it off of Twitter. And he's talking so low, I tried to jack it up. So I apologize for the audio quality. This is going to be very short. Ready?
What's up, boys? It's Mike here. And I've watched the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. And now I'm watching Maul Bag from the Champions League. Here are my thoughts on the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. It was good. I enjoyed it.
That was it.
Well, I'd like to see him and Laybourne really sit down and hash one out.
Him and Laybourne, that is Mike.
I'm sorry.
RFB?
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. It would be funny. Yeah, so thank you, Mike, for sending us something. We always appreciate it. You get entries for that, but yeah, good to know your deep thoughts on it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you liked it.
Hey, at least he said Ahsoka.
That's true. He gets another point for that.
Points for that. Oh, you're giving bonus points out?
No.
Okay. If it's a longer one, maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it. All right, and here's the FACPAtoid to wrap the show up on. We have, at one point, Anakin Skywalker was going to appear in The Force Awakens as a hybrid Force ghost flowing back and forth between Darth Vader and Anakin.
Wait. I thought you said Anakin was going to appear.
That's what I said.
So you're saying Anakin was flowing back and forth between him. I see.
He's going back and forth. Version of him. So, but as cool of an idea as that is, and it would look cool, it would also it would mean that he, even dead, he was still not one or the other, right? He was still struggling with the good.
Yeah, it's a bit at odds with Return of the Jedi.
Correct.
When he just is Anakin at the end,
Yeah.
So that's strange. Where did you get that one? That's a
I
weird
think,
concept.
here's what it was. There was no bad ideas with the first script.
Everything's on the table.
Yeah, and maybe this was I forget the guy, Michael Ardent's script before it went to J.J. Abrams and he rewrote everything. Not sure though. Yeah, I'll have to do a little digging on that for more information.
That's wild. Yeah.
Visually,
that's
I like
strange.
the idea, but it doesn't fit the character, the story arc, right?
There has to be. I mean, yeah. I guess you just have people that are sitting there because all these ideas get thrown in. It's all these people who grew up watching the shows and watching the movies and being like so enamored with them and being like, we should throw this in there. We should throw this
Right.
in there. And they're just like, whoa. Like, we're not gonna have a story to tell if we just bombard people with every character and possible concept ever. It's gonna be a fucking mess.
All the cool shit goes in this movie.
Come on.
We won't even need dialogue, and if we do, we'll get AI.
And I still, as you do, I think feel like that was far and away the best one of the three.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So
I really love that movie. I'll fight someone to protect it.
it's a feel good movie.
Scuttlebutt. No, he liked the Force Awakens, didn't he?
Who did?
Scuttlebutt. He didn't. I know he didn't like the trilogy, but
He
out of
doesn't like the
three-
trilogies in general. I think he was okay with The Force Awakens.
Okay.
But he hated Last Jedi,
Yeah.
I believe. But yes, it's I don't think that The Force Awakens is the greatest movie, but it fucking brought me back to the Star Wars world and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And in the end, aren't you just trying to enjoy a movie? Or are we trying to just get into
Yes.
our critical thinking all the time?
All the time.
There's a balance, a yin and a yang, if you will.
Yeah. Star Wars listen or Star
A
Wars
Vader
watchers.
and an Anakin, if you will.
Get your shit together. Stop flowing. It's like- except for
Stop
you want your partner to flow.
Hey, Force, stop
Otherwise
flowing.
you're having a sixth kid. Oh.
Oh, man.
All right, let's wrap this up. Thank you everyone for listening. We will see you next week. Until next time,
Laugh it up, fuzzballs.
we have spoken.